You're welcome back to the Gavel. The National Assembly has been a source of constant drama in the last 2 weeks, from the snatching of the maize in the Senate chamber to calls for the impeachment of President Buhari. And let's just say it has been action-packed in the National Assembly. I sat down with a lawyer, Mr. Evans Ufeli, to discuss these unexpected events in the National Assembly and what it means for the country.
Well, the first thing that came into my mind is the security in the National Assembly, which obviously was practically and tacitly compromised because there is no way hoodlums would have gotten into the Senate, into the House, without certain level of complicity as regards security and all that. So I began to look at the larger society, looking that even the National Assembly is not secured, okay? And the fact that the maize was taken brazenly, even without serious obstruction, I had thought that even when security at the gate is compromised and there's a bit to that there should be certain security even in the chambers. Okay, maybe some step away from the chambers. But it is clear that, there are no security whatsoever. So the maize was taken away just like that. The symbol and the scepter of authority of parliament was taken away. It's an attack on democracy. It's an attack on the people because parliament is an extension of the larger society, okay? Because what you have in the executive is the president and the vice president only that have the mandate of the people. The others are appointees. And you look at the judiciary, what you have are appointees. But parliament is critical because parliament, the people you find they hold the mandate of the larger society. That is to say that the National Assembly is the focal point of legislative engagement. And when it is desecrated the way we have it today, then we begin to look at governance in Nigeria as, dribbling or falling against the bar. And we must begin to interrogate this critically because if the people who did this are not adequately punished, if the people who did this are not fished out and they are made to face the law because it's treasonable.
Now some of would argue that that action, which was even though the senator has come out to deny that he wasn't the one who brought those thugs into the Senate chamber, but some say even if he was the one, that this was in a desperate he showed desperation in response to the National Assembly, the Senate suspending him for a period of 6 months, which creates a situation where his people do not have representation for the next 6 months.
The act is condemnable. I condemn it. I don't support violence of any kind or stealing or theft of that kind. But then the Senate, in a way, brought this upon itself. I mean, if you look at the history of what happened, they said that there are certain senators in the National Assembly that are supporting the president, okay? And as such, they have made themselves appear to be holier than others, holier than thou and others. And for the purposes of that, there was rancor, and the particular senator was Finger Senator, Omo Agege, representing, I think, Delta Central, okay? So, and at the end of the day, he was suspended. If you look at the constitutional framework, both judicial and statutory authority, first of all, Section 68 of the 1999 Constitution as amended had clearly stated the condition upon which a Senate is meant to vacate or suspended, meant to be suspended or vacate its seat. And everything lined up there, we don't have any infraction emanating from the said senator in question, okay? Now, if you also look at the judicial authorities, okay, we have a case of Dino Mela in 2010, if you remember, where out of frustration, he wrote a petition to the EFCC against the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dimeji Bankole, to say that these people have taken some certain amount of money and all that. You understand? And as a result of that, Senator Dino Mela was suspended. Senator Dino Mela and 10 others were suspended indefinitely. They went to court against the House of Representatives. And the court ruled that the Senate have no power. And no senator have that. They don't have power to suspend another senator, even for a day. Senator Alain Dume was also suspended. You understand? And the court reversed it. So we have judicial authorities. We also have statutory authorities to say that, because if you suspend the senator, you suspend the entire constitution. You suspend the. So for me, I think it is political carnality to suspend a senator because they are equal. They are equal. It is first among the principal members are the ones who are regarded as first among equal. You understand? So by the time you suspend the senator, you have suspended the people's rights to representation.
Another critical issue has been, been on the front burner of public discourse and in the National Assembly for the past 2 weeks. And that's the President Buhari's anticipatory approval for the sum of 496 million for, to purchase Tucana fighter jets for the country. Now, some lawmakers, some lawmakers in the National Assembly say this is unconstitutional, that the president violated the Constitution because he didn't come for appropriation first before, giving anticipatory approval.
The president have no such powers to take on that kind of revenue without the input of the National Assembly. I've heard people argue with Section 82 of the Constitution, stating that the president can, because the Constitution says may, take, approve funds so long as there is no current appropriation within 6 months and all that. But if you look at that Section 82, it still references the National Assembly. And if you look at Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution, it stated that for public funds, okay, you must go through the right channels and procedure. And the president knows this. You understand? That is why we're saying that from the executive, it is legislative, it is a serious infraction because the president and the vice president are the only 2 persons who have the mandate of the people. Again, that is the importance of parliament. That is why he cannot just take such decision without the input of the National Assembly, which forms the larger society. It is the entire Nigeria speaking. It is the input of the entire Nigeria that the law is yearning for. Let's not look at it as the Constitution. Let's not look at it as the National Assembly, because you look at just some persons. These persons are from different extractions, okay, representing the entire country. So if you have public funds and you have to expend public funds, you have to appropriate, you must do the right thing. The input of the National Assembly is required as a matter of law. That is one. And I've also heard people argue that, yes, the former administration, they've been spending, the executive spend, they don't make records to the National Assembly. Why is it that it is now? I mean, they've done that in the past, it is wrong. The fact that it is done in the past does not mean it's correct. It is wrong, and we must do the right thing. We must make sure that this, because if you spend such funds when they are not appropriated, it does not have the breadth of law. It is illegal. There's no way you're going to take it to. What you have done is you have desecrated the due process for which appropriation is meant to, so that there could be accountability. We know that the country needs all these things, okay? But then due process must be followed in acquiring them, because if the president continues this way, it already is an impeachable offense, and the senators are already saying, well, this is an impeachable infraction, and we are going to carry out our function, our oversight function, as regards this, as they are empowered by the Constitution.
Yeah, but do you think that this is an impeachable offense?
Well, if you look at the law, okay, what constitutes an impeachable offense is where there is gross misconduct, okay, gross misconduct and violation of laws by the president or the executive. That is one of the ways for which the legislator check the executive. That is the power of impeachment, because we have what they call check and balances. Okay, the executive have their own way. Okay, through they have their own procedure. The judiciary have their own procedure. Okay, but then the legislator in this case, they are doing the right thing. They are asking that the president must face this impeachment, because what he has done is not just a mere activity. He has taken on a very serious issue, because anything that has to do with public funds must be handled the way it should be handled, because we've had a lot of problems in Nigeria. We're coming out from recession. We are facing insecurity challenges. We have so many issues. The educational system is not fine. The health sector is not fine. So many things are not okay. So this is the time we have to be prudent. This is the time we have to be accountable. This is the time we have to follow due process to achieve results. So I think the National Assembly are doing the right thing. There's no witch hunting here, because what people will say is that 2019, everything is 2019. It doesn't mean that government cannot function without 2019. Every time you hear people say it's because of 2019, they want to do anything the National Assembly do. Some people will come together and say some people want to use it against the president. That's just what we do these days. And I'm beginning to wonder, I mean, we must be serious with governance. We must face the business of governance. We must do the right thing. We must know that our leaders must remember that the people that they are leading, okay, must be led to a safe place. And we must benefit and assess democracy. Because as it stands now, we've not been able to assess democracy in Nigeria.
Now, this is where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us, and see you again next week.